Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Nature and the Wild. Yeah, the weather is not that good yet here in Netherlands. Today a little bit shining, but still too much wind, cold. So I hope I will find some bird life out here, but today was not a very good start, and also I didn't find a lot of bird life. So I decided to make a small video on the camera Canon R7 with the combination with Sigma 150 to 600 mm. So let's go through some settings and some real life facts and some questions to answers. Thank you guys. So guys, many of my friends has a question about the autofocus of this camera, and also compare with the Sigma 600 mm. How does it work? So here is a live footage in front of you. If you see these birds, water birds, I just focus on it, and the camera and the lens is able to find out the subject. So this is pretty good. It's tracking. There are a lot of branches in front of it, but still it's tracking the animal because the subject tracking is animal is on. The duck is sleeping and floating, but our camera and the lens is able to recognize the bird and try to focus on it. So here is one small thing: the eye detection method is not working because the bird, you don't see the eye, you only see look. As soon as you have a bird, it's pretty good. You see on the screen my settings. I am on AF spot on and the servo is on, and also I am on electronic shutter mode on a 800. So, and I'm shooting on my 600 mm. So this is pretty good in case of autofocus. The moment you move, it just automatically focus the birds. So this is how it works. So guys, as soon as I enter into the video mode and I start recording, I see the camera it's trying to focus on the birds. I wanted to show you the eye tracking system during the recording, but I don't see any eyes of those birds, so the camera is also not able to adjust its focus points to track, but it's tracking the whole bird and the whole subject and its surrounding. So this is pretty good. Okay guys, so let's talk about some of the settings of this camera, which I prefer to use while my bird photography. So those are quite good. So if you see, the first thing what I do, I always put my image quality. So today I'm shooting in L, so L means the JPEG. Today I'm shooting in a JPEG mode. If you see, let's go to the picture style. I always use as a standard, which give you the more chance to work with the pictures during the post-processing. I use the drive mode. If I go here, I'm having high-speed continuous drive mode, so I don't use the H plus because I'm using the electronic shutter. I don't know. This is quite fascinating because when you're using the electronic shutter mode, and if you use more high speed continuous, then sometimes you get a lot of I'll say roller shutter effect, and pictures are not so good. But these settings works perfectly fine with me. Let's move. Then if I go, you have the shutter mode. I'm using the electronic shutter. Sometimes I also use the first curtain, but it depends on how depends on the scenarios, you know. So electronic shutter is a very fast moving subjects. They may look distorted. So that means if you are sometimes capturing very fast moving object like a small bird, they move quite fast, and also flying subjects. Sometimes they are not very good. So you can also use your electronic first curtain, which is quite good. Sometime during the video settings, my image stabilization, which is on the on camera. I also have an IS on my lens, but this is on the camera settings. So this will only turn on the image stabilizations on the camera. So let's go to the second. I am using the autofocus operations, which is servo, and this is quite good because you need to use the servo because of moving subjects. You know, the birds are moving one point to another point, and the servo is quite good of tracking those animals. And then you have your autofocus area. You can use according to your need. I normally use the spot F, but sometimes I also use the larger space to autofocus, and then I just choose my points, which points I need to autofocus my camera. Then my subject tracking is on. Some people also keep it off and just turn it during operation. They set up some of the buttons, back buttons, to use it. But I always keep it on subject tracking. That's my preferences. Definitely, the subject to detect is animal. Otherwise, the camera will be confused if it's a human or it's an animal to track. Although it will track, yeah? I tried with the human, with the animal. It's track, but it's not that very smooth. Eye detection is animal, and switching track subject. This is pretty much needed. Switching track subject means if you put it on one, sometimes you can use it as a lock on the subject, so that your subject will not move. You know? So you are focusing on one bird and then you move to another bird. You need to refocus. But I keep it on the middle, so it works in the both of the directions. Then this is a very important part, friends, for the bird life. The case settings. I use the number 2. Related to this topic, there is also some stuff we call focus pulsing, or the sigma lens is not focusing the subject properly. So in that scenario, we'll talk about the sigma lens settings later. But in that scenario, you can adjust these cases on your camera, and these cases are normally I use the number case 2, which is continue to track the subject and ignore possible obstructions. So what I did, I keep my track sensitivity is locked on, so I want my subject to be locked on. When my lens look at the subject, and it's just locked on, it's focused on the subject, it doesn't move. Some people use it on the 0, so which is also good, but I find it is more better. And then if you see acceleration and deceleration, which is like sudden movement of the subject, I keep it little bit in the left, which allow me to track the movement, a small movement of the birds, and make my lens calibrated in that way. So this is very much important. You can also, some people use as an auto, you know, because this camera is too intelligent. It can easily find out the scenes and the subject and its movement and adjust itself. But I like to take more control of my camera, and I put it in that way. Perfect. So if you go to so this is pretty much. Let's move to another option. So I also use custom shooting mode. So like I'm just shooting a bird right now, and then I suddenly see a flying bird is going. I put one of these button on a custom shooting mode. So I just press the button and my camera switch to my custom settings. Like let's say I put the shutter speed at 2000, and the ISO is auto. So so quickly grab the birds, you know. That is quite fascinating with this camera. You can just custom mode, and you can register the settings which you just did to one of the custom settings, and which we can change from here, C1, C2, C3. So these are the very nice options. One more thing, guys, I just really talk about it right now, which is custom buttons. So let's talk about the custom buttons. Many people, they use their back buttons on the camera like these buttons. They use as the function. So like me, what I do, I use my AF on as autofocus. I don't use the traditional shutter button to focus. I use this one. There is benefit. You can check my video section. There is another video on the back button autofocus and how it works and what is the benefit. But still, I'll tell you a little bit on it. So it helps you to lock on the focus on a subject. So what does it mean? That means if you use your traditional shutter button to focus and also click the picture, your camera has to readjust its focus every time. So you click one picture, you refocus, and you move to another subject, you have to refocus. So and the focus of the last subject was gone, and that's sometimes very much distracting while you are capturing the flying birds. But static birds like the ducks or big ducks, and they are sitting just nicely, there is no problem. You can use it your shutter button with the focus. But when they are flying and sudden moving objects, and you really need to lock on the subject, you have to use the back button to focus. Again, it's by choice, and it also comes with your daily practice. Sometimes you will really feel like, oh, it's really interesting, or shall I use it? But I'll say it comes by practice. Practice mode, you will get better in your camera life. So I use this one as an autofocus, and you can just customize these buttons using these settings, and you go to the AF on, and you put your autofocus here if you look. So go check my other video, you will see the whole setup out there, and this is how I did. So this is custom focus. I use this button to change my focus points. Now spot on, I can change it to the whole subject, you see. So you press it back and you come back to the, and I also use this to swap my manual focus autofocus, you see. So press it back and come back. So this is how I set up my camera for your daily birding life, and it should help you in every way. Thanks a lot, guys. So guys, this is a small demo of this camera and the settings, and also with the Sigma 600mm, which works perfectly fine with its autofocus, with its speed, which is really nice. If you go and buy this lens, you will also get a 1.4x teleconverter with this lens, which comes in a package, and is absolutely a good deal, because that 1.4x teleconverter is also works very perfectly fine. Yeah, sometimes the autofocus lags, but to make the videos or take picture of a static subjects, that's absolutely good, because you will get a 840mm distance to cover with this lens. So we have discussed a few things. Just put your comments in the So just put your comments in the comment box, and I will try to answer some of them. Please subscribe and like my channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.